Toby, it has been a pleasure. It has absolutely flown by, though. I don't know where this has come from. It is a plane path that will help most of the teams. Unfortunately, we can't test your knowledge of the camera angle.
You can, but maybe it'll seem a little unfair because we can see it already. This is going to be a good plane for the most part. We're already seeing Ratio Edge out, and this is again one of those where they have Yasnaya in the plane, but because they get access to military that much faster, they value that over trying to take, not necessarily a fight, but spending time flying that could have been spending time looting.
Yeah, and so we'll see whether it works out for whoever decides to change. And looking towards FaZe, they're going to go standard, so they can get float down to power. And they're avoiding going directly over Milta because they know TSM will drop first to be able to shoot them out of the skies. So it does look like DA are going to be back in Rozhok, Reciprocity, etc. Everybody kind of happy back in their homelands apart from Razor Edge and CrowCrowd.
I do see NIP going out east, and that actually is a little funny to me. They had this whole... It never really became a battle. It's just kind of in the middle of phase 2. NIP said, whenever we don't get our George planes, because they only had Georgia Pole for a long time, right? They said, you know what, Knights, we're going to take Lipovka away from you. You have so much space anyway, you don't really need it. And it seemed like Knights from the very get-go just sort of, you know...
Accepted it.
We don't want to fight 4 guys in Lipovka. That's kind of pointless.
I think it was a battle that probably played out in scrims that we didn't get to see.
Is this our first Northern Circle?
My God, at last.
Have we had? I'm thinking
it's
back.
Been
have we had phase? I'm talking phase 3.
Yeah.
Has there been a phase 3 north of the river finish?
Even phase 2, we really didn't have much up in the north. Like phase 1, it was everything up in these hills of Severny, everything in and around here. So it's been a while since we've been up this way.
I talked to SKUIJKE. He just told me day 1 of this week. When do we go back north?
Yeah.
And now they just got themselves a win on military. That could be a great way to finish off back-to-back wins in the week.
Ironically, they were Novo, though.
Well, that does pay off, of course.
So I mean, there is a big correlation between ENCE doing incredibly well in phase 1 and the amount of northern circles, and actually not just northern, eastern circles. There was a lot of eastern circles. So, but this is good for them. This is good. We could see a bit of momentum, as you say, for them. It does cause problems for a lot of the southern teams because there's really only Desperados and ENCE that side of the river.
You say that. But if you're a smart team, a smart IGL, you have thought this plane path through, you know exactly what NIP are doing, and look at the western side of the river. From Rozhok over all the way to the west side of South Georgia, there is no one. And teams have to realize this. Of course, we're still not completely guaranteed it's going to go north of the water. There's a big chance that it will. But if you're smart right now, I'm looking at Liquid. When are they starting to move? Because they normally do send someone up early. They have to know for a fact that there's no one up on the northern side. The only thing that could scare them is that CrowCrowd jumped out pretty much immediately, and that could be them saying, oh, that was NIP, they're going for West Coast, they're taking vehicles for North. But I'm waiting to see someone go up towards Cube very early this game.
Reciprocity have DA very nearby. They're going to be obviously covering off that whole central point, so everyone will go either east or west. Around them, expect to see, you know, the standards from FaZe, TSM, Knights even to an extent, heading on that far eastern side position. Maybe not so much over, they don't really go north of Stalber these days. They used to rotate around the edges of Stalber, but that's kind of drifted. They more go over the hills of Yasnaya now than anything, but we'll see where they go. SKUIJKE is the man that's going to be making the positional play for ENCE. He's still on his loop path, but he's going to be looking to make a play for the positions. If you know the map, obviously you guys at home, everyone watching kind of knows everything about PUBG these days. The central point is just south of Severny, the little crossroads, and Ultra from Desperados is there already. So expect to see, say, ENCE and DA and etc., who are all these closest teams to the center point, looking to get the warehouses, the compounds, maybe even look towards shooting range or something like that.
One thing that I love about the situation we're in right now, for those of you guys who don't know, the current team Desperados used to be in contenders under the name of Besiktas. Besiktas in contenders, they were looting not where they are now, but somewhere around, and Quickmath was the team that was always taking Severny. Desperados, back then, Besiktas, were very good at punishing Quickmath for staying split in this area early on when the circles did go north. They would always just go 4 guys together, climb onto a compound. SIMSY, gonna get a few bullets going his way, should be a whole lot more to it. But to finish off the point, they know what not to do, because they would always punish Quickmath. And say it was pretty much every single time they went up there, they would get a free one. And this is why I think Desperados will be playing at least 2-2 in this. They're not going to overextend. They know so many teams are coming up early, and we can see it already. Just as we said, Liquid, over Cube, they knew it was going to be open, sending it full speed forward.
Yeah, 7 going almost next to them, just the next bridge over. Monkey just scouting out, checking over the brow of the hill, making sure the compound is clear. There is some really strong compounds in and around this area. This is a little bit more southern of the circle, though, so whether you could try and get more central, there's the warehouse that I expected ENCE to go for. Desperado's just scouting that one out. Of course, there is a junkyard just further down south, and 47 look like to be arriving into that, so they've managed to claim a strong compound there. It looks like they may actually be going closer for the crossroads. TomiL caught out.
Kelvin, they're not agreeing on what's going on here. Kelvin is pushing in while Ultra is trying to leave. They were not coordinating this one well. They've had a tough day already, and it seems like this is a bit of a breach of communication. There are 2 guys.
Paige, run!
Oh, this could have gone real bad. But able to stay put, but he didn't hear the nade come in from Calvin. That is huge. 2v1 now. Vasco is there, though. Calvin goes down. SIMSY found immediately as well. Vasco, you absolute madman.
The savior. Because, oh my word, Paige. A little underhand nade came back off the bars, but yeah, Vasco with a quick double. Saves the day, and now Desperados.
You have got to feel bad for them. You have got to feel so bad for them. As you said, coming into this day, they are not only not feeling well game-wise, but they are all under a big cold right now. They're physically not feeling well. And then to throw these games they've had today on top of it, it's got to be one of those guys, you know what, let's just rip that page out of the book and get some proper sleep, get well rested, get our medicines out, come back Friday and feel good.
Yeah, the rest required, I think, for the next couple of days for Desperados so they can come back healthy.
Don't stream, don't do all these things, just focus on your health.
Actually, they can stream.
You can stream, but I'm just saying that your priority has to be on your health and not on trying to.
German internets.
Well, they can't stream anyway.
No, I think they can. They've just got to do one, but not very well. Anyway. Everybody's sort of positioning, but yeah, N47, that's a big aggressive play from them. It's not for the first time we've seen it happen, and obviously 2 former teams coming out of contenders, they're very much used to how each other's play. One's formerly known as Zuktatnam, the other one played as Besiktas before. Fuzzface switching to passenger seat, like it, love it. Catches into the tree though, doesn't manage to get the damage down, but he did manage to force mceydark to back away.
It's actually fortunate for Macken that he hit that tree too, because I think he could have followed him at least a couple of bullets long, and he had a headshot on him from the first bullet, so that could have been a knock that then didn't happen. 6mo is going to find himself out of the little game. There's no more lobbies for him to take this week. He's going to try and see if he can guide his team through the rest of this one from the passenger seat.
It's a big cluster on the eastern side, isn't it? We just saw GamerLegion and the FaZe, but there's also G2 coming up behind them. They're all going east of Yasnai right now, almost running alongside each other as 7 trying to scope out Team Liquid in the distance.
And the reason we see so many teams go east in these sort of circles is it's such a big contrast to the west. Flat, open fields, no cover if you don't have a compound. As opposed to the west, you can, not always, but you can for the most part, like you'd rather be on the east side with a western shift than be on the west side with the eastern shift, because there's nothing to take once those compounds are taken on the east, whereas in the west you got the trees, you got the forest, you can always try and make a play.
Ooh, the Knights have gone for the gas station. Now that's where FaZe ordinarily used to end up, but FaZe have adjusted. This is the change they brought in Phase 2 of PEL. They made this adjustment, and they sort of go further around Yasnaya Northern Hills instead, and then they try and find themselves a position, but they may still continue on to that gas station. We'll keep our eye on the rotations as it happens, as we see Na'Vi going for the little bridge spot down just, I don't think it's really by choice, but down Rozhok way, because Razor Edge are in that cube compound.
So looking at the guys in Na'Vi, doesn't seem like anyone really wants to commit to a push, despite the fact that they got knocking on towards one of the Razor Edge players. Seems to me like mxey is actually continuing all the way. Good call on that one. Might want to turn around right now, though, because this one shifted in the opposite direction.
They're going to go the beachhead, the Saverny beachhead. They're going to go all along the beach. It's a big rotating, like you say, it is very scary. It is quite a big shift, in fairness, with the circle. It pulls away. Shooting range hills is what I was almost predicting. The previous game, I said I reckon it was going to be shooting range hills. Maybe someone backstage was just like, right, okay, he wants that.
We'll give it to him. Just don't talk about Las Leones endings anymore then.
They just never happen anyway, so it's fine. And there is the gas station. mxey went there anyway. He's just like, I'm getting out of the gas station. That's where I wanted to go. Gene was ripping TRYFFELI out of the car. That was catching them on the rotate, so he's in the little compound. It's the little tunnel system just outside shooting range. and Team Liquid got here relatively early on.
Teams is scary out in the open right now, but he knows that everyone's anywhere near him are going to be people in vehicles. We see 7, a little standoff between them and CrowCrowd. They're both on the far edge. DESPERADO, they will go down again. Tough day for them, but this is what's required. Honestly, I think it's good for them to have a bad day like this early. This is what you're up against. You will have bad days in your games. Unfortunately, it's been more than just a bad day for them. Tiikzu, it's a good headshot on towards Starfnick. I don't think they're going to push on it though. They can't really push here.
The nade will work from Tiikzu though. That should. He's not quite his angle quite right, but it's took a big slice of life off him.
Oh, that's a third party.
There is something coming from behind, isn't there? Yeah, that's N47 trying to steal it away. Tiikzu's like, nope. SKUIJKE as well, also in the angle. Let's have a look at this replay. What we're going to show us? Oh no, it's Ultra going down in a blaze of glory. Desperados get themselves. It's all right. Ez is here. She's going to look after them. Get them some night nurse or whatever you want. I don't know what the German equivalent of night nurse is, which would be NyQuil if you're American. Know what it is, and get themselves all tucked in and asleep and plenty of hours sleep. Keep them off the servers tonight. If I see them in there on the guild, I'm gonna tell them.
Get one of those snuggies, you know, isn't that what they call, like the blankets with the arms in them?
That's it, yeah. They're all wrapped up. I just got this vision of them all wrapped up around the TV watching MPL and be like, we're all ill.
Now, no one's taking control of Plane Crash in that whole area. There's still quite a bit up for grabs, somewhat centered on in the circle, and there's a lot of teams still splitting. Not saying that they're taking control of multiple compounds, but playing wide. It's a buffet. You want to get as much on your plate as you can, because once, there's no more to take, you want to be one of those teams that still have a lot.
So let's just have a little stock. FaZe Clan, as I say, they were going to be going around the edge of Severny. Now, GamerLegion are doing the same here. This is the beachhead plays. This is what FaZe tend to do. Now, they can head for the cliffs, and if they do get that cliff position, it could cause a problem for FaZe Clan. You can see they're holding this compound. Very strong roadside compound. We used to see circles finishing up here, but obviously with the circle pull away, not tends to be any more. mxey, cheeky play from Bjorn, doesn't quite pay off, and Hamster goes down as well.
I like the idea, but not a whole lot coming off it. Such a good setup from them. Aitzy on the other side of the road, ubah over by the compound. This is why they moved early. This is why they continued driving instead of going back. They knew there's going to be pressure on this side, and only FaZe made it through.
Yeah, it's a learning experience for GamerLegion. They had a relatively average first and second week. They're in and around 8th and 9th. I think they were tied with 8th position, right, before the start of this game.
Yeah.
But it's simply a case of learning, especially this circle. This would be the first time they've seen this northern circle, so they suddenly realize, and well, they're going to know they rotate in a similar path to FaZe Clan, but they're clashing with them every way. It's another big shift, isn't it?
This is an interesting one, too, because A, the next circle is going away from water, so it's going to go back up north. B, there's no one in Plane Crash right now. Exactly, there's no one up there. Everyone is pretty much sitting along the edge of the new circle, waiting, and there's such a big uphill push over shooting range towards the southwestern side. Teams will have to go early, but this is a spot, again, where you say there's got to be people already, so no one will take it.
James is already in the vehicle, and when they're just going to go along the ledge of shooting range?
They cannot go up once they, like, if they don't know there are people on the other side, they can't just send it uphill.
Well, James is pulled up and waiting to see who's going to make the play. Oh my God. Guys, if you haven't got the map sheet open, get it open right now because there's so much movement happening. TSM, Na'Vi, DA all trying to make the way up. TSM are kind of just sending it in the center. Somehow they're getting past Na'Vi. They're not. Michael will get caught out by a doozy. I was surprised to see so many pass on by, actually. They've kind of pulled up. Gustav finds an angle on Bestlosh, but doesn't get the shot he required. Now TSM are in trouble.
I really like the idea from TSM because it's something that teams rarely ever, if ever, do. And they did the exact same thing on Sanok last game, saying there should not be anyone center with this circle. ubah, can you do it? Oh, gotta reload. Maybe that's what allows for N47 to get away. It seems like, at least for now, they're safe, but there's a lot of bullet holes in this vehicle.
Now the Knights are taking shots on them as well. That car is getting very rickety, and you can see it's going in towards ENCE. It pulls up by the shack way outside the circle as well, so still not a long way to go. Drayden's going to get back up. His priest is coming in to help him revive him, so he'll be back on his feet. Now, CrowCrowd, by the way, they came in so late on this circle. Remember, they were down south. It's actually paid off for them because they're on the hillside of Georgipol, and it suddenly worked out for them with this 2-2 split. They're thinking, this is great. He keeps swinging towards us. Raise Your Edge, another team in a similar situation on that hillside.
See, FaZe, they're going to have to force the push in here. You can see them driving on forward. Once Knights get up the hill, I don't even know if Liquid want to put their focus on Knights right now, because they're going to help them out so much with dealing with FaZe. Liquid cannot push uphill before FaZe are dealt with, and FaZe cannot go anywhere before both Liquid and Knights are dealt with.
Yeah.
It's an absolute horrible situation FaZe accidentally just put themselves into.
NIP, I didn't actually catch it, but the NIP were playing their old hill position.
Exactly.
It's been a while since I saw NIP playing the hill position, and that's going to cause a problem. So Team Liquid are going to get shot in the back.
They're in all kinds of
by
trouble.
NIP. Yeah, they're kind of in a really squished position. FaZe have to deal with both sides. They have the coverage to deal with Team Liquid unless they get pushed up on. Which I was about to say is SIMSY's cheeky flanking, but SIMSY's flank can't go any further because he'd be exposed.
NIP can really become a literally thorn in the back for a lot of the guys up here right now, because if they force Jeems to focus on the other side, that's going to make things really, really hard.
G2 are creeping up as well.
Oh, okay, camera angle. I was saying that one was right on his face.
G2 are sneaking up on Na'Vi. The circle shrinks in. G2 are going to keep on closing in on Na'Vi. Na'Vi are taking shots back and forward with TSM, and Na'Vi are slowly moving in on them.
I am not seeing FaZe getting out of here alive, and Jeems has indeed found the upper angle. You can see him on the rock now. Gets the knock on towards Fuzzface. These nades are only getting closer. Ubah goes down to Aitzy and mxey. How do you get out of here alive?
Oh, he doesn't.
This is not happening.
One more will get all of them. Is Ibby going to push in? Doesn't matter. The Knights maybe steal it away.
They can't over-aggress. Don't over-aggress on this one. It's not worth losing players.
The molly, I think it looked like it was dead on. That molly looked like it was absolutely nailed on. We're going to pull away. We'll keep your eye on the kill feed, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Ibby gets caught out, as I was mentioning. NIP on the hillside. They were coming in for the backstab on Team Liquid. G2 and Na'Vi continued to clash. The molly was just off the side. Aitzy's still alive. Ubah back on his feet. Fuzz back on his feet. SIMSY's trying to get the revive, but look at all the shots from NIP on the hillside, taking down Team Liquid.
And this is actually getting FaZe back up on their feet to a certain extent. They're still in a really tough position. Aitzy just naded his teammate. That's unfortunate. I think there was supposed to be a smoke. I was just gonna say. Teams cannot really put his focus on NIP right now. He has to just assist for his teammates to get away from that. Gemsy is trying to drive out, but this is not exactly an easy area to leave, especially not with the US uphill. It's not going to happen.
There's multiple battles happening right now. On the one side, ENCE and N47 are fighting. We obviously have this cross battle here. The Knights are kind of pulling away from it, getting in the circle. Yeah. NIP keeping Team Liquid at bay. Down south, G2 and Na'Vi. Na'Vi have had to completely pull away from that fight. They were getting battered by G2, so it's good to see that. But now G2 and Reciprocity are going to be clashing on the same position. Further south, on the western side of the circle, we have CrowCrowd and Raise Your Edge facing off against each other. There's about 5 different battles all happening at once.
This was going so well for Liquid until they, in my opinion, overcommitted. You can see FaZe, they're going to go down in 14th place. I don't think they had more than those couple of kills on towards GamerLegion on the northern side. Drayden is found by GamerLegion. Speaking of the devil, the last player is going to get punished after it, and Drayden, that's going to be annoying.
Yeah, very frustrating, no doubt about it. But NIP, they gained quite a lot from that. Jeems, the only man to get out for Team Liquid, kind of just trying to send it for the position to find himself available. The crash site's still available. The Knights are going to walk into that and be very happy with the position they suddenly gained from this. Digital Athletics, their compound is just about on the edge. Scoom's the only man just keeping an eye on him here. This is purely informational play, and as he gets a massive slice, that was, I think he definitely got info off that one.
Did you get the memo? Get the hell out of here.
Now that nade has instantly turned G2's heads towards Reciprocity, so that may well just give their position away. We'll see how it works out. It is slowly crawling in. Everybody's in the circle now, so it's just a case of gaining. N47 and the Knights up in the north are very close to one another.
This next shift, if going the way that he wants, it can get Jeems a top 5 placement without having to do anything at all. He has so much room in the middle right now, and I don't think TSM is going to move any further, and they need to control the edge before they can move further. And DA now pushing around the side here. NBS is there to help, but it's going to be Miracle with the first knock on towards Mitraleius.
It's the second they try to come out of the compound, they walk into a team. It's the danger of when you're sat in a compound, yes, you're safe in there, but you really don't get too much scouting done, because obviously all the teams around you are just constantly moving. NIP, they need some big points to finish the day here to really back up the win that they had earlier on in Miramar. Beautiful death. That looked like a pretty good nade. It is. Wow. Straight down onto MBS. They got VAR down at the same time, but Gaxi is still delivering when he needs to, and it leaves Mert, the last man standing.
Miracle is trying to get a better angle. 1 HP from Mert, but that's all he needs. He's getting Miracle down real low. Fortunately, the tree is going to grant him the cover needed. Mert is all by himself. This could be a 0-point game, but Miracle safe from one angle, visible on another. Scoom finds him, gets the flush in there too, and what looked so good for NIP, just gonna compliment them from the way they're playing their positions right now, is falling apart. Monkey, Scoom and Reciprocity pushing forward.
Right up on Mert. That nade's found him, and it's gonna be a massive chunk of damage done to him. The second one's gonna fall in. That's gonna be forcing him away. Now NIP are back on their feet. The question is, can they get behind that tree as Mert tries to keep on pushing them?
He knows they're coming.
is bleeding out slowly, so Mert's got no choice but other than push onto this one. Reciprocity, they're trying to gain as much as they can. Squeaky caught out, N47 will do the damage. They've been camping out that compound the entire time, and N47 are looking to gain what they can as CrowCrowd exchange fire with them.
They knew it was going to get shifted out from, and they had to focus on that. They cannot let those guys potentially backstab them should they be going into the next fight, and I'm interested in seeing where they decide to push here. They have the tree line to push up towards the plane crash, but that's going to leave them exposed to CrowCrowd. So they have a couple of different options. N47, let's keep an eye on them while we get this circle closed on in.
Back on the east side, NIP have got all three back on their feet. They're backing away. Mert is still alive, and Reciprocity have almost got him surrounded. N47 here, you can see Timmy sees Ivor on the run. Doesn't actually connect, so Ivor's going to get to the tree line there. That is, well, fortunate, I think, is the best word I can use for Eiffel there.
And look at the ammo situation. CrowCrowd rotated so early, then didn't rotate to another compound. DA, no, did they make that Navi actually? 2 players alive. They're pushing
coming behind
forward.
CrowCrowd.
Scoom found Mert. That's going to be DA out. I don't think they need to aggress any further forward. Eiffel, though, under pressure. He's going to go down. Tiikzu finds him.
Navi are just waiting to pull the trigger. They're lining up on CrowCrowd. They have no idea this is coming. Page does reply. So it's a 1-for-1 knock at the moment. Tim is low as well. Navi continuing. They're running in behind. So keep your eye. NOOKIE here. He's the man that's going to get caught out. He's going for that revive. There may even be a nade just roll upon them in a second, because Senor and Pokemoldoy are right behind them. Now up in the eastern side, NIP and Reciprocity, we've been watching this build up, but the Knights are going to get third party on the back of Gaxi.
This is horrible for them. Gaxi is the one looking in that direction, but speaking of, let's just go over to Poker here. It's going to be Senior down, and now he's by himself in phase 5. This is hurting a whole hell of a lot. He knows there's 2 people on that tree. Can't see the tree quite it's on, so he's going to miss that first nade. Second one, though, should be on it. Whether he goes down or not, should be able to get at least 1 knock off. It's not going to happen. Navi down in 10th place.
They had to have been spotted. That's the only way about that one. It just suddenly turned around quickly. So Raise Your Edge, though, they've come out of the compound. They're pushing behind CrowCrowd. Back on this eastern side, you can see it is back and forward. Here's Raise Your Edge. So they're doing... Oh, N47 just stole so many of those kills. N47 was... Well, how many? 6, 7 kills out of that one, because they've already dealt with ENCE as well. 7 kills for NIP as well to end the day. Okay, they've got 2 versus 4, though, on Reciprocity on this northern side.
Kudos for NIP in holding this. Gaxi was the one assigned to contain Reciprocity, but he got shot from behind. Really, really tricky situation. Great hold by them in forcing Reciprocity to go elsewhere.
Down south, G2 moving on TSM. They're about to clash on one another as CrowCrowd will fall down in 9th position. You can see Braexco's been already caught out. That nade, well, it doesn't really need to happen. N47, they're keeping Raise Your Edge still at bay as well. That's all happening on that western side, but now we're starting to see some big third-party action. Yannis taking shots right across the circle onto N47. We're in range that everybody can catch another if you're on a decent hill point position.
This could be a decent game for G2, but there are people on all edges. That nade is more like artillery fire. Takes Iroh down to 1 HP. Such a close one, but just a little bit off.
Call them into catching them off guard. So Raise Your Edge still with 3 alive. They've just got a crate as well, actually. Don't know what they've managed to pick up from that one. lynxzy just taking a big old chunk from NELLOZ, though. G2 could do with a positional play here. They've still got 3 alive. TSM at the moment, they're getting surrounded. Reciprocity starting to push on them.
I don't think Reciprocity is intending on going anywhere right now. They just want to make sure no one's pushing up towards them. They know that NIP is forced up in the northern side. No one else is there, so they always have that option. Vlad was down just before the res is coming in. Cold, they found in the open. He's not going to get back on up. NELLOZ make sure of that. He did see lynxzy as well, but think he has to let him go through as Yannis, his teammate, goes down.
Vard's picked off by the nade as well. That leaves just MBS solo for NIP in the north. Gustav trying to get out. He's got Iroh with him, but they are surrounded. Yannis will bleed out in the play zone. And now Chris and NELLOZ, the last 2 standing. Jeems, by the way, that yeet play that he managed to work out, a standard Team Liquid play, going to get himself top 5 because of it, because he's just lying in the middle.
He's not doing anything. I mean, that's exactly what I said 4 circles ago. If they keep shifting with him in the center, and he has been moving a bit to get even more center, if he can stay there, there's no way anyone is going to focus on getting in. They need to clear the edges before they can focus in the middle. Skoom down, one more down. Iroh, finally we see him on the kill feed. He's been on the back end of that all day today, but he's getting on the action too.
That's a 2v2. If they can get rid of Udyr, and Monkey's the man up close. There's the nades coming in towards him. You can see he's forced to the side. Reciprocity floundering a little in his last moments against TSM. The nade finds him, and that leaves Udyr, the last man standing for Reciprocity. This 2-man stronghold from TSM has absolutely worked out. Gustav's going to finish it off. He's tossing the nades out. He wants more.
There are still 2 players to be rest if he can make a hero play here, but it does not look easy. And BS is found in the end. Reels with the angle. That's going to be NIP out. 8th place for them, unfortunately, but quite a few, was it 8 kills in total? I think still a decent game to finish off the day.
Iroh sees Udyr. Gustav can come in and now cleanly clear the kills out with Udyr. His tree is already known. So this is a problem, and he's taken down. So that's 2 TSM members taking down 4 Reciprocity players. And bear in mind, TSM were just in the shack. They managed to work their aim and catch their heads. And that has cost Reciprocity dearly. It was looking like a possible good game for them. They were the only team with 4 alive. Now the Knights have the numbers advantage, but it is 3 for the Knights, 2 for Razor Edge, 2 for G2, T for TSM, and then Snakes, Jeems, and T-Bone.
The duos and the triple in Knights in the northern side. Knights have been close to wins twice this week, but have been falling just short both times. One time against Reciprocity, one on yesterday too. We'll see now if they can get something in the last one. It's just, I'm not wearing anything the rest of this game. I'm going to prone it out, and maybe my shoots will be a bait that I can then harvest on.
The confidence from Wanted is obviously backed up by the fact that his team have got all the cover. So Znark up close, who just got 6 kills in the last game, by the way. Really confident right now. Reels just behind him if he needs to get back on his feet. Wanted can just drop off that wing if he gets knocked and get revived with ease. NELLOZ sees lxey.
This is going to be a third-party game. I mean, everyone can win this game. I cannot count anyone out. We don't know where the next circle is going to go. Obviously, we'll know in 20 seconds. But this can go any way. It's just a matter of who gets tripped over who and who gets the third-party advantage.
So NELLOZ using the SLR. He's got the Wookiee suits on, so I'm going to assume he's got level 3 gear as well.
NELLOZ has to know where he is. He's been tunneling that tree for a long time. He has to know for a fact that lxey is on that exact tree.
Where's it going?
That's not a person.
Who's going to benefit the most? It will go to the Knights, and that causes obviously problems for Razor Edge. N47, G2 can just creep forward because you can see CrywZZ already holds it. TSM are being watched by CrywZZ as well.
Gotta give it to Knights as well. The way they're splitting this with Wanted, you can see him on the top of the wing. He has such a good out view, and he can just dictate, like, command Snark around on the southern side of it. They take so much control without risking anyone. Really, really smart positioning from the Pittsburgh Knights right now.
Shots going off. That pulls TSM towards G2.
So much info.
Znark was the man that got the little spray down there, and he's just going to back away from this one. So position and move. It is pretty open. You can see the most of this central circle.
I don't know if I agree with this. Disengaging. They could, rather than sending Snark back, take Reels up with you. Okay, that's what's happening. He's actually running back up now, and Reels is bringing the vehicle too, because they want some sort of cover up there. That's
T-Bone could cause a problem for Razor Edge here.
Yeah.
Does he? Because they're so focused. Look at them. They're so dialed in on G2, trying to catch a position of them with CrywZZ here and NELLOZ that they're really forgetting to check where T-Bone is. Who a team that they engaged earlier on. They're the ones that took down the N47 members. So T-Bone is absolutely aware they're coming.
I think from now on you're playing with the mindset that they can be everywhere, and you just it's just reaction plays on everything. TSM are slowly but steadily making their way down towards G2, and if they can time this one right, it would be perfect. Wanted from the wing top all the way up above finds lxey. That's a third party coming in to start things off. You can see he has the angle down there, and it's going to be NELLOZ finding mxey. That's them out and down. CrywZZ in the meantime holding the angle in the back.
Yeah, they've instantly turned to TSM. Yep. G2 instantly swing around, start running towards TSM. That buys T-Bone all the time in the worlds for N47. The Knights, look at the Knights, how aggressive they're being. They are dominating. Znark and Reels are pushed right up down south in the circle. Wanted still sticking on that wing side. Now we're in phase 9. There's 9 alive. 5 teams in this final circle.
The thing is, there's nothing between Wanted and Snark that you can play. It's that wing, and then you have open field all the way down to Snark. There they have the ridge line, so they need to send it all the way down first. NELLOZ found Jeems. That's the snake. He's been prone for half the game, but he finds himself one there.
And now the Knights are going to sweep around. They're pushing down. They've got about 50% of the circle as they work their way forward. James gets caught out. There's another snake. T-Bone, he's going to go down. The Knights will pick this up. It's looking great for the Knights now. 7 kills and counting. They've got to deal with TSM. Don't forget, they've already took 4 members of Reciprocity down in this fight. CrzyZZ just off to the side. Do not write the big man off. He's not really had too many kills. Certainly today or this week. It's been a very quiet one for CrzyZZ. But he is always a scary, scary thought. Snark, 6 kills in the previous game. Nothing in this one to be written yet as he looks towards Iroh, who's yet to put on a stellar performance for TSM, but he's found. Gustav goes down.
It's going to be very, very hard for CrzyZZ to have any impact on it. He's just going to have to wait it out and hope for that second place. It's Knight's job to dictate everything. CrzyZZ does get found one that is there, and this should be their game unless if Iroh can pull off a hero play 1v3.
Got to go big. It doesn't work out. The Knights pick themselves up their second victory. It's a 10-kill game. And my God, every time you see a team just slip down that table, they pick up a win. The level of every team in Phase 3 is so far up there that anybody can pick up a chicken dinner in every single game we play.
Gotta give it to them there as well. We talked about it in the game too.